Health Secretary was in fact just around the corner in his Whitehall office. If he'd opened his window, he might have heard the chanting. But today there was never a chance of the two sides meeting. This is a dispute that has become personal. Juniors versus Jeremy. The British Medical Association says there were 160 pickets across England, the strike providing emergency cover only. It started at 8 this morning for 24 hours.
This is the last of the strikes planned, well, at least for the moment, although it is clear that this is far from over. While neither side has been able to reach an agreement, there is now a strong possibility that the government is preparing what it calls its nuclear option. That is, that within the next few days, possibly even as early as tomorrow, it will impose the contract on the junior doctors.
At the heart of the dispute is the government's pledge to provide a 7-day-a-week NHS. The BMA says juniors already work weekends and will only be more thinly stretched. Ricky Poppleton is in a better position than most to see how it works. He's been in hospital with a life-threatening condition for 8 months.
I was brought in on a Sunday, and so had I not have been treated on a Sunday, then I wouldn't have survived. So, you know, I don't feel personally in any more danger at a weekend than I do any other day of the week.
The major sticking point is over weekend pay and whether Saturday should be largely classed as a normal working day. Over the weekend, the Health Secretary once again accused the BMA of spreading misinformation. And this junior doctor on national television accused him of lying.
You caused quite a stir by calling the Health Secretary a liar. Do you think that that was fair?
I'm afraid I do, yes, and it's something I stand by now. The reason for that is because from start to finish there have been multiple occasions when we, frontline doctors working on the NHS now, have listened to these utterances which the Health Secretary repeats, and we have compared them to the contracts that we have all read ourselves. We're perfectly capable of assessing the evidence, and we've seen the gulf between the two.
And that gulf includes whether there is indeed an 11% pay rise on the table, as the Health Secretary says, or a 30% drop in pay for those juniors who work in areas such as emergency medicine, who are more often called in. Mr. Hunt would only give one pooled interview today, so we couldn't ask him. But he did say,
what we're proposing is going to mean that the vast majority of doctors don't see their pay cut. In fact, many of them will see their pay go up. But it will mean we can offer better care for patients. And surely that's something we should be talking about, not taking this very damaging industrial action.
Just under 3,000 operations and appointments were cancelled, similar to January's strike. The NHS, as usual, appeared to cope well.
To put that into context, on an average day, the NHS does about 31,000 operations. So the NHS has doubled its efforts to treat patients as normal today.
No ifs, no buts, no junior doctor cuts.
There are no more talks planned, but if the contract is imposed, it's highly likely there will be further industrial action and a chance that some will leave the profession or leave the country.